Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. My name is Travis. I have Tim Seeley with me today. Tim, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm having a dill pickle beer in my office. That's the kind of day I have.
Nice. Well, I got a nice cup of coffee here in my outdoor office. Behind me is
Nice.
Fanwood Lake, and this isn't a green screen; it's the real deal. So if I'm moving around, that's.
I have Chicago outside.
Oh, nice, man. Chicago is my favorite city. As far as the big cities go, I love Chicago. I took my son there on a train ride from Portland, Oregon to Chicago earlier this year. And so he got to go there for the first time, and he really enjoyed walking around the city and seeing all the sights and stuff. And yeah, it's by far my favorite city.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. We appreciate that here. We are often shit upon, but we know it's a great city. It's just
Oh man, it's
makes us feel better.
yeah, no man. I've been to all them big cities. By far, Chicago is my pick for the biggest, best city in the states. So, but we're here to talk about Vampirella X Darkstalkers. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Okay, and here's the deal, man. I know a lot about Vampirella. I don't know much about Darkstalkers. I know it's a video game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean on you for this one. What can you tell me about this book, and what can you tell me about Darkstalkers themselves?
Well, you don't need to know much about Darkstalkers. Darkstalkers is a Capcom video game. It was first developed in the 90s and had several games, but mostly it's known for its crazy, awesome storyline, which is essentially monsters fighting monsters. And some of them are very sexy, man and lady. But the basic storyline and the character we feature, the other realm of which monsters come from is called the Makai. And it is a sort of magical realm of which monsters exist. And Morrigan is sort of the princess of this land. And she famously, when the invasion starts to happen on Earth and the Darkstalkers lore, she starts sneaking out to go to Earthrealm because she's very curious. But she's not doesn't concern herself much with people's feelings, even though she's kind of fun and bouncy and curious, and she still eats people without any sort of concern. So she's a compelling vampirist type character. There are other characters in the lore, hunters and monsters, a werewolf, a zombie, a rock star, a big mummy, and a little girl who dresses like Little Red Riding Hood and has a giant machine gun.
Nice. So is there a main, like a character you focus on more for the Darkstalkers themselves?
Yeah, for this one, we really focus on Morrigan, knowing that we didn't have this sort of a huge amount of space to tell a story. And it's an ensemble cast for Darkstalkers, but I think, sort of from the viewpoint of most fans and probably from most even casual viewers, or players, Morrigan is kind of the main character alongside, I think, Felicia, who's the cat girl, famously, who has the little white kind of cat ears on her head. And so it made sense, knowing that we didn't have a lot of room, but really wanted to get something interesting and something character-based. It would make more sense if I sort of narrowed the viewpoint. So though the other characters obviously exist in the universe, it's really a Vampirella and Morrigan story. And being that one is a vampire and one is a succubus, it kind of seemed like that would be a good way to have them meet up.
Yeah. So are they battling each other, or they kind of have a disagreement at first, but then work it out and kind of work together? Is that kind of the deal?
I usually don't do that trope, but I did it. But in this case, I was trying to play it like, what is the sort of most interesting time to set this? I try to kind of put it in a continuity, I guess. It sort of takes place in Vampirella around the time that she, realizes that she is the daughter of Lilith, and she's charged with finding other supernatural creatures, which is actual Vampirella continuity. And around the time in Darkstalkers, when the Makai is starting to infiltrate Earth, and Morrigan is kind of this curious explorer into this world of soul sacks that she can feed upon. So I think the way I play it, again, you don't want to overthink some of these things. And this one is, hey, here's two really hot monster characters who bump into each other. In this case, they have very good reason for not liking each other, because Morrigan is kind of a bad guy, and Vampirella is with chasing down monsters. So really easy setup for us. And then, of course, other things come into it. Other characters step up, and then we get some plot, but not too much, because I'm not stupid. I know what you come to this story for.
Yeah, yeah. So is this an ongoing series or a one shot? I couldn't find too much of the details on it yet.
Yeah, it's a one shot. I think with the expectation that if it's does well enough, we could do more versions of this kind of thing. There's unlimited characters. I had written one version of this that had Pantha in it, the Vampirella villain.
Yeah.
So there's so much stuff I could do with it. We had Pantha and Felicia. We could do. There's so much possible crossover stuff. So I think the way I set it up allows us to have other stories in this kind of untold connection between Vampirella's world and the Darkstalker world.
Yeah. So you've worked on Darkstalkers before, correct?
Yeah, I do a lot of the. I work with editor Marshall Dillon over at Udon to do adaptations of their Capcom video licenses, which they have Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. Yeah. I'm very familiar with the world. I'm not a big gamer, honestly. I've probably played Darkstalkers once in my life, but I have worked on the comics for 3 or 4 years now. I've worked on these characters in other mediums, so it feels pretty comfortable for me to jump into it. And for me, it's always been, the Capcom design work is some of, I think, the most iconic, in video games, period, but I think just among Japanese pop culture design, the Darkstalkers designs, the Street Fighters designs,
sure,
are, they're classes in themselves. I think, you could teach the fundamentals of character design via Capcom characters, for sure.
Yeah. So are you more of a Street Fighter or Darkstalker fan? I know you said you're not a gamer, but come on.
Darkstalkers has all the stuff. Yeah, Darkstalkers has all the stuff I like, which is monsters.
Yeah.
And so, it has everything. Street Fighter is a crazy combination of stuff, and I always have fun working on it. But, it's more of a kind of like it's actually closer to G.I. Joe in a weird way. It has all these big, forces, organizations and all that stuff. There happens to be a street fight in the middle of it. Is the summary of Street Fighter.
Nice. Well, we're going to shift gears real quick. We'll come back to Vampirella and Darkstalkers, but I want to talk to you about a couple of your other books really fast because you mentioned monsters, and you work on Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I have a question about Godzilla because I heard a rumor a while back that in the comics, Godzilla is not allowed to eat people. Is that correct?
That's true in the movies too.
In the movies, okay.
Godzilla's never eaten someone on screen.
Yeah. But he could burn them alive. He just
burn them alive.
Okay.
God himself does not eat people. So I believe the reason for that goes back to the 54 movie, of which at some point it was determined that would make Godzilla unappealing if like that's a bridge too far to eat people. But that's always been true. Yep, always. You've never seen Godzilla eat somebody.
Yeah. Have you ever wanted to step over that line? Wonder what would happen?
Yeah, right. I think we are so beneath him, he doesn't consider us food. I think that's what I think about it. Like you wouldn't eat a pile of ants either. That's just you're just not interested.
That's true.
True. They're not. We're below Godzilla's gaze. We're just in the way of whatever Godzilla wants.
Yeah,
and that usually is destroying people for messing shit up.
Exactly. I like the ant metaphor. You're correct. We wouldn't eat the ants, but we would step on them. So that's the way.
Exactly. They would just be in the way and interested, and we would knock over the anthill that's screwing up our yard.
Yeah.
That's how Godzilla thinks about us.
Well, I want to talk about another one of your books real quick, Money Shot. And you've been doing this one for a while. I have an autographed copy of it. Are you just having fun with coming up with the titles for this one?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I mean, the title for the newest one, the Fuck Offs, in the back pocket for a long time. And it was part of the idea was that I wanted to do this like big cosmic crossover, but we needed obviously to set up a bunch of characters that we could pull from in our own universe to have the cosmic crossover.
Yeah.
So the Fuck Offs was sitting right there, but I had to build us, this cast of recurring characters. So through the series, the first volume and then Comes Again and all the others. Again, we always just have fun with the titles.
Yeah.
Making sure that we introduce a lot of compelling characters that you want to come back for. And then this one gets them all together in a sort of, Secret Wars type scenario.
Yeah.
Sort of, but obviously they're banging instead of fighting.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I was trying to describe that book to my girlfriend and like, what? I go, yeah, it's not your average superhero book. So
Well, people keep sending me articles, and it happens pretty regularly, and it's happened like 5 times this past couple of weeks. Like this keeps happening in the real world. There's a natural resources Department of Natural Resources in a department in one of the states of which they had their money canceled to count marmots. Mm-hmm. So of which they need to do because it helps to sort of manage their wildlife, and so they started an OnlyFans for marmots, chunky marmots. And it's so dystopian and pathetic and sad that they had to do this because they can't get federal money to do something they need to do. And then they have like these sexy, big fat marmots. Part of the thing with marmots is they eat a whole bunch, before the winter, so they get real fat. And so they started an OnlyFans thing. And so the things I predict in the book have already come true, and it's real sad, but also kind of hilarious.
Very cool. So is there any room for a Vampirella Money Shot crossover down the line? Because, man, I think that'd sell 1 million copies pretty quick. I
know. It's funny. Money Shot's probably my most successful indie book, I guess, overall. But everybody's – it's funny how – I mean, for years, my wife and I talked about how no one would come up and get it signed. I knew it was selling good, but people wouldn't come get it signed, I had problems finding a publisher for it, and no one has ever pitched me a crossover. I pitched Larry Wells on using Cherry, I thought would make total sense, and he was gracious enough to let me do it. But people kind of avoid my book like the plague because it has the P word, not plague, porn. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I could even get Dynamite to think about it. But we could go to Draculon. We could do,
Well, I will tell you, I have my copy of Money Shot autographed by you on full display, man. So it's I have it with pride, so I appreciate that.
And you turned out fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know about that. This is a little too far. But let's go ahead and get back to Vampirella X Darkstalkers. That's coming out in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is a one-shot, and there's a bunch of different covers. I believe there's a blind bag as well. But the artist on the book, what was his name?
Drax Gall.
Yeah, I looked at his cover. It looked amazing. I haven't seen the interior artwork yet. But, man, if the interior is anything like the cover, it's going to be an awesome-looking book.
He's incredible. He's the next, big hotness, I think. He mixes that sort of – it's kind of manga influenced, obviously, but he's kind of doing his own thing with it. Mm-hmm. And it's also, like, perfectly gothy, just like Drax himself. And so I'm really excited about it. I've been minoring stuff for a long time. He did some covers for the Hack Slash Zombie Tramp crossover, and so now getting to see him do stuff. He just sent me a batch of pages that they're incredible, and just the amount of stuff the guy can do, it's awesome.
Yeah. One more question before we go, man. How many books do you write a month? I mean, just like your name is everywhere. I mean, are you okay?
It's funny. People ask me that, and it's almost like it's there's a little. Sometimes people are like, how am I supposed to read all those books? Like, dude, I gotta pay my bills, man. Like, I don't, I gotta work. So I don't get to just wait in the shadows for the perfect book and write that, and then check out for another 4 years. Like, I gotta work every week. I gotta feed my family and pay for my house, and so. I do a lot of stuff. I try to only pick things that are going to be fun for me that I have an angle on. So I don't even do everything that comes up. But I definitely, I have a billion ideas. So if someone asks, I usually can figure out something. Not always, but like 95% of the time, I have some way to in for a book. So I don't know. And my brain still works, so I'm having fun.
Very cool. Your mind's in constant motion, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and if someone says you want to do Vampirella and Darkstalkers, I'm not going to say no to that. That would be stupid. So
there you go. That'd be really cool.
I'm going to have fun.
Hey, do you have any cons coming up?
Yeah, I'm doing the Motu Fest, which is the He-Man convention in Cincinnati in September. And then I'm taking a break because I'm fucking tired. So that'll be the last one.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, hey, Tim, I want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about your new book that's coming out in October. We all know release dates tend to change, so it's sometime in October. That's just kind of how it goes. But go check it out, Vampirella X Darkstalkers by Tim Seeley. And it's a one-shot, and we got Vampirella, and we got the Darkstalkers doing their thing. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'll definitely check it out.
All right, thanks, man. Pleasure to see you.
All right, thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time.